Welcome back to the News Hub. I'm Kelsey Hubbard. The investigation into the bombings at the Boston Marathon are in the early stages, and it will no doubt be a complex operation involving every level of local, state, and federal law enforcement. Our next guest has been in the middle of many investigations of this scale. He is a former CIA covert operations officer. He is now president and co-founder of Diligence, LLC, a global intelligence and security firm. Mike Baker, thank you so much for joining me this morning from Boise, Idaho.
Sure, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, given your training in the CIA and your history, what were your first thoughts when you saw the events and the carnage unfolding in Boston yesterday?
Well, I hate to say it, and I don't want this to sound wrong, but I wasn't surprised necessarily of the events. And what I mean by that is if you've been in the world of counterterrorism for any period of time, you understand that we never get this down to a zero risk. It never gets down to, okay, that's it, we're done, we're finished.
Right. So
you always anticipate something. You're always expecting something to get through. And that's kind of a cynical, paranoid way to look at it, but it's the unfortunate reality.
Right. And at this time, no person or group has claimed responsibility for this act. How unusual is that at this time after an event like this?
Well, it's not unusual. I mean, it's sort of catch as catch can. Sometimes you get, you'll get an immediate response. You'll get an immediate, declaration from whatever organization is involved. Other times it takes time, and for a variety of reasons, they may not show out. But they'll, as you said, it's the early days in the investigation, but there is a great deal of evidence to be pulled off that scene. And, everything from the chemical residue to the blast patterns that will tell us, the type of devices, the resources that were used for those devices. There's communications and financial research, a great deal of material. We will identify who was involved in this.
And when you say they're looking for that kind of material, is that a certain signature that they're going to find? For example, we're hearing that there were ball bearings in this particular device. We're not really sure if that's confirmed at this point, but that type of thing, would that indicate a signature or a type of group or person? Does it lead in that direction?
Well, sometimes you do get lucky, and there's a particular signature from the bomb maker. That's not quite as often as what is more likely is that the resources that were used, the items that were used in the devices, things that may have been left behind, those put you on a path in certain investigations and certain inquiries where these items were bought, how they were bought, when they were bought, who was involved. I can't again go into the painstaking detail
right.
that is involved in investigations like this, but the local and state and federal authorities involved are extremely good at this.
And since you've been on the inside of these investigations, give us a little bit of insight into what's happening behind the scenes. We're not getting a lot of information from authorities right now. They're holding that probably close to the vest. Is there a reason for that? Is there a strategy into sort of keeping what they find out sort of to themselves at this point rather than releasing all the information at the time they get it?
Absolutely. An active investigation like this, a terrorist incident, where you've likely got a lot of tentacles, including the variety of potential leads overseas. You have to hold it close to the vest, and I think the public understands that. I think they just want them to get on with it. But there's a lot of reasons for doing that, particularly from an operational standpoint, and the sources that may be involved in assisting on this. So in terms of what's going on behind the scenes, it's an enormous effort by a lot of different organizations, and what you're doing is you're calling on all your resources, you're calling on all your assets, you're conducting a variety of investigations into who was talking to who, where money was going, what was being purchased, reviewing all the evidence that you're gathering, and tasking assets that you have out there to rally on this particular investigation.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for joining us this morning with all that insight. Really some great knowledge about what's happening behind the scenes as they investigate Boston. We appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.